everyone, I'm Swati, pursuing second year BiPC of TTWREIS Girls Pargi. In today's session, we are going to discuss about the topic which has become very familiar throughout the world during this pandemic situation, that is vaccination. We are going to discuss about what is vaccination, how it works and its importance in controlling the pandemic. Let's start our session by citing an example from our daily life. We all are living a happy and secure life in the country with the support of soldiers who are protecting us 24/7 from the enemies. Soldiers are shielding our country. In the similar way, our body also has to be protected from various disease-causing microorganisms. The in charge of this action in our body is immune system. As we have different strategies like Navy in the water, Air Force in the air and Army on the land to protect us from enemies attacking our country. In the same way, our body also protects us from various disease-causing microorganisms like cell-mediated immunity and humoral immunity. In cell-mediated immunity, the T lymphocytes will directly attack and kill the antigens, whereas in humoral immunity, the B lymphocytes will produce antibodies and kill the antigens. But still we fail sometimes to protect from the enemies, which is same with our immune system also. So I would like to stress that always prevention is better than cure. One of the most effective way to protect from dreadful infectious disease is vaccination. Let's study about vaccination. Vaccination is a process of immunizing our body with vaccine. Before we learn more about vaccination, I would like to discuss about different types of immunity. We have two types of immunity, that is innate immunity and adaptive immunity. Innate immunity is also known as inborn immunity. So it is non-specific type of defense and it does not depend on prior contact with the microorganism. It has many different barriers like physical, physiological, cellular, cytokine, which provides us innate immunity. Saliva, tears and sweat also provides us innate immunity. Adaptive immunity is also known as acquired immunity. It is the immunological resistance developed by an individual after the birth. So it is the pathogen specific and depends on prior contact with the microorganism. Now it is also characterized by immunological memory. Now you have an idea about different types of immunity, that is innate immunity and adaptive immunity. Can you guess under which type vaccination is characterized? Yes, vaccination is characterized by adaptive immunity because it is the pathogen specific and depends on prior contact with the microorganism. Now we have earlier learned about different types of immunity. Now further we are going to discuss about what is vaccine. Edward Jenner is a founder of vaccine. The word vaccine is derived from the Latin word vacca, which means cow. He developed a vaccine against smallpox from cowpox virus. A vaccine is a biological preparation that typically contains an agent that resembles disease-causing microorganisms. So to understand in a simple way, this is the vaccine and this is the microbe. The weakened or killed form of this microbe will be present in this vaccine and this vaccine is injected into the body to trigger an immune response. In this pandemic situation, the word vaccination has become very common because the coronavirus infected millions of people all over the world and many of them have lost their lives. The researchers all over the world are working continuously to develop a vaccine against the virus which will work more effectively. At the same time, the World Health Organization is insisting the population of all the countries to get vaccinated to protect from the attack of coronavirus and decrease the mortality rate. As the vaccine have the ability to protect the lives of people, so developing a vaccine against any disease is a huge task. Coronavirus caused a lot of confusion and fear among the people as they were not aware how vaccine works. So now we are going to discuss about how vaccine works and protect us from various diseases. So this is the working of vaccine. A vaccine works on training the immune system to recognize and combat the pathogens, either viruses or bacteria. To do this, certain molecules of the pathogens has to be introduced into the body to trigger an immune response. And these molecules are called antigens, and these are present in all viruses and bacteria. By injecting these antigens into the body, our immune system can safely learn to recognize them as invaders, produces antibodies and memory cells to remember for the future. So this is the slide showing the working of vaccine. So this is the memory cell and this is the virus. So this memory cell will be telling to these pathogens that I will never forget you, because the memory cells will be recognizing the antigens and producing the antibody to kill these pathogens. Let us understand in a simple way. So antibody have different mechanisms. By blocking the bacterial toxins, by preventing the colonizing of virus on cell surface, by blocking the binding of bacteria or virus on cell surface. So to understand in a simple way, it is like the revision being done by us before the exams. We write the answer which we have revised earlier very fast and easily in the exam. In the same way, our body also produces antibodies very quickly when a bacteria or virus enters into the body, because it is being recognized earlier by the memory cells which is produced when our body is vaccinated. So immediately they recognize the antigen and produces the antibody to kill the pathogen. An important point to be noted is everyone has to be immunized by vaccines, and to remember, a history is being created by eradicating smallpox by mass vaccination. So look at this immunization card which has detailed list of vaccines to be taken by a child to protect from various diseases like hepatitis, measles, mumps and etc. So this is the immunization card. So these are various types of vaccines to be taken by a child to protect from various diseases. So the child after the birth has to be immunized with hepatitis B. So in the month of 1st and 2nd, the child should be again vaccinated with hepatitis B to protect from hepatitis. It is again immunized because to strengthen the immunity power. So in the month of 2nd, 4th and 6th, the child should be immunized with DTP vaccine to protect against diphtheria, tetanus and pneumonia. And in the month of 12th and 15th, the child should be immunized with MMR vaccine to protect against measles, mumps and rubella. These are few vaccines which we have discussed. So we have various types of vaccines to protect from various diseases. But a question that has to be pondered is, can't a single vaccine protect us from various diseases? If yes, it is true with some bacterial infections like DTP, which works on diphtheria, tetanus and pneumonia, but not with viral infections, because the surface antigens will be constantly changing. Different microorganisms have different surface antigens on them, for which our body has to produce different antibodies. So let us understand in a simple way. This is the antigen and this is the surface protein. So to kill this antigen, this is the antibody that has to be produced. So this antibody is going to bind with this surface protein to kill this antigen. So this antibody only can kill this antigen, because antibodies are antigen specific. In this pandemic situation, the matter of concern is that vaccine taken against the virus of earlier variants like corona and delta will not be able to protect us from new variants like Omicron and subvariant BA.2. Yes, it may be true because different variant have different genetic makeup on them, for which our body has to produce different antibodies, and the surface proteins will be also different. So to understand in a simple way, look at this slide. This is the slide showing antigen and antibody specificity. So this is the antigen and this is the surface protein which it has. So to bind with this surface protein, this is the antibody that has to be produced from our body. So this antibody is going to bind with this surface protein to kill this antigen. In the same way, this is the one more antigen and this is the shape of surface protein. So this is the antibody that has to be produced from our body. So this antibody is going to bind with this surface protein to kill this antigen. In the similar way, we have different antigens and different surface proteins on them, for which our body has to produce different antibodies, because antibodies are antigen specific. To understand in a simple way, this is the antigen of corona variant and this is the surface protein which it has. So to kill this antigen, our body is produced antibodies. So this antibody is going to bind with this surface protein to kill this antigen. So this antibody will work on this antigen and the antigen will be killed. So as variant has changed, that is, this is the antigen of delta variant. So this antibody will not be able to bind with this surface protein. So this antibody will not kill this antigen. So this antibody will not work on this antigen also. So to kill this antigen, this is the antibody that has to be produced from our body. So this antibody is going to bind with this surface protein to kill this antigen. In the similar way, again the variant has changed, that is Omicron. So this antibody will not be able to bind with this surface protein because the surface protein is different. So this antibody will not work on this antigen. So the antigen will not be killed. So to kill this antigen, this is the antibody that has to be produced from our body. So this antibody is going to bind with this surface protein to kill this antigen. So we have different antibodies for different antigen because antibodies are antigen specific. But a question that arises is how new variants are evolved. Let us understand. All the viruses, including SARS-CoV-2, the virus that caused COVID-19, have evolved over time. When a virus replicates or makes more copies of its own, sometimes it changes a little bit of a normal virus, and these changes are called mutations. A virus with one or more mutations is referred to as variant of an original virus. A virus, when two or more viruses infect the same cell in the nature, thus different variants are characterized by different sets of accessory genes and surface proteins they produced. We have understood that vaccine taken against one variant cannot be able to protect us from getting infected with another variant because antibodies are antigen specific. It is evident that a person immunized with one vaccine, which are of 2 doses, is also prone to get infected with new variants. But still every country is concerned about vaccinating its 100% population. The reason behind is it reduces the transmission risk, severity of the disease and death rate. The government, following the guidelines of World Health Organization, India have fully vaccinated with 80% of its adults and over 2 crores of population were vaccinated with immune doses. So this is the slide showing the statistical analysis of COVID vaccination all over the world. So in January 2021, vaccination has started. So this indicates the number of population who are vaccinated with first dose. This indicates the people who are vaccinated with second dose, and this indicates the population of country who are vaccinated with booster dose. So in the month of May, it has reached to over 1 billion of population were vaccinated with first dose and over 1 billion were vaccinated with second dose, and in the month of July over 2.5 billions of population were vaccinated with first dose and over 2.5 billions were vaccinated with second dose. So in the month of September, it has reached to 4.5 billions were vaccinated with first dose and over 3 billions of population were vaccinated with second dose. And in the month of November, it has reached to 5 billions of population were immunized with first dose and over 4.5 billions were immunized with second dose. And in the month of November, immunizing with booster dose has started all over the world. So in the month of January, it has reached to over 5 billions of population were immunized with first dose and 5 billions of population were immunized with second dose and over 1 billion of population were immunized with booster dose. So this shaded region indicates the population who are vaccinated with first dose, and this indicates the population of people who are vaccinated with second dose. This indicates, the shady region indicates the population who are vaccinated with booster dose. But still, can we put an end to this COVID pandemic? Is it possible? If yes, how to put an end to this COVID pandemic? It may be possible by redesigning the COVID vaccine of new variants against the virus. The scientists and the experts are constantly working to sequence the genomes and redesign the vaccine. So this is the slide showing sequence of genome. Let us understand in a simple way. This is the model of genome sequence. So this is the coronavirus. So this is the RNA. As the scientists were trying to genome the sequence of RNA of this virus. So this is the genome sequence of RNA of this virus. But still, few are in a false belief that taking a vaccine jab can cause them body pains and fever. So I want it made clear by explaining the scientific reasons behind it. Rise in body temperature indicates the immune response is triggered by the antigens present in the body. The flow of blood is increased to increase the circulation of defensive immune cells. Nothing to worry if the person is suffering from fever after vaccination. Each and everyone in the world are playing a key role to put an end to this COVID pandemic. The scientists were working constantly to sequence the genome of new variants and redesigning the COVID vaccine. The government is trying to vaccinate its population of 100%. So, as an individual, what is our responsibility? So, we should all follow masking, social distancing, avoid enclosed spaces, not having gatherings, washing our hands frequently can put an end and can protect us from this dreadful virus. So I hope that you have learned more about vaccination through this session. So I would like to give a project work. So this is the project work. Make a list of the various COVID vaccines available in the market throughout the globe and its producers, and write an essay on the history of vaccine. So let's have a recap through this session. So we have learnt about vaccine, its definition and working, and types of immunity, that is innate and acquired immunity. So we have learned the antigen and antibody specificity and the importance of vaccination, and also we have learnt about the statistical report of COVID vaccine around the globe, and also COVID precautionary measures. So I would like to conclude that the persons who are still not vaccinated, please get vaccinated with 2 doses as soon as possible to put an end to this COVID pandemic and protect the world from this dreadful virus. So I would like to thank our Secretary Sir, our Telangana State and TSAT who have given me this wonderful opportunity. Special thanks to our Principal Sumati Madam and our mentor B. Lavanna Madam and all teachers and friends who supported me to success this session. Thank you.